Hey guys, it's Gene here, and welcome to Elementary Automata. So, this was a creation by RedstoneJazz's. He is amazing at this kind of computer stuff. You should go check his channel out. I'll throw an annotation right here. And there'll be a link in the description for you mobile people out there. But one problem remains. How does this machine work? Well, I'm here to answer this question. And it all starts with these blocks right here. So, imagine that this is the data that the computer has translated into this, which it can actually read. This is the actual program that is running. This is the little stuff like resetting this, so I could press this and it would probably work. There we go. And then this is what reads the rule and then turns it into what the program can use. Okay, listen, you need to stay quiet, okay? I'm trying to record. Alright, so then of course we just have teleporting above the figure, which does this, and it would look really cool if you actually had a figure there, maybe running. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. So this is going to be the automata at work. So we just go ahead and set this rule, which this guy thought was a cool rule, and then start single cell generation. And you can see we have a really cool generation of patterns. You can see the armor stands and the wither skulls. So it's really amazing. The problem is, many people would probably find this hard to understand. So, I'm going to assist you. Right, so I talked about this right here. So, this is going to determine whether this block becomes coal or should it stay as sandstone. So, if we just go ahead and start a generation right here. So, basically, this block, so any of these blocks which are going to be generated on are going to look at the 3 blocks above it. So, if I were to get out something like light blue stained clay, it's looking for these 3 blocks right here, and that's going to determine if it's going to be coal or going to stay as sandstone. So, let's take a look at this. So, in binary it would be 0, 1, 0, because this one is on, these 2 are off. So, we're going to feed the program 0, 1, 0 and see what it returns. Well, we have 4 right here, and it says 0, 1, 0. So now we look at this from our original data value that we inserted. It's going to look at this, and if it's glass, it's going to turn it black. So that's this right here. So now we can go ahead and check over here. Well, this is 0, 0, 1. And we go find 0, 0, 1 on our sheet over here. And there it is, 0, 0, 1. it has glass, so it turns it black. So this would keep going on, and RedstoneJazz's talked about this in his video. So we look at 100, when we find 100, there it is, and of course it keeps saying to have a block of coal, and it would continue like this forever, basically. So if we start the generation, you can see that our original pattern, yep, it was correct, and if we continued on, it would look something like this, or it would be wrong because I got bored and got sloppy or something. Not just talking about me specifically, hopefully. So, what about how this is generated? Well, as part of this thing right here. So, here we've set it to 30. Now, I'm going to set it, for demonstration purposes, to 255. So we got to start thinking in binary here. So we've got 7 of these digits over here, and so that means we've got 2 to the power of 8 minus 1 possibilities, which is 255. So just gonna decrease this by a lot because this can get very laggy, and I'd like to think that this is a decent PC that I'm running it on. Oh, whoops. Reset everything, then start the generation. And that's rule number 1 of programming in this. Gotta make sure you set the rule and clear the map, and then you can start it. So you can see it's this kinda happens. There we go. So now, as you can see, we've inserted the maximum value, and it's just completely black. So let's just reset this here. There we go. And then we can set it to something like 1 or 0. Then start single cell generation. And you can see we only get this one block. See, this block was manually placed, so it looks at these 3 blocks. It finds 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Well, that says to keep it sandstone. Then we go on to this one, 0, 0, 1. This says to 0, 0, 1. This says to keep it as sandstone. And that just keeps on going for the entire pyramid. So we can just go ahead and clear the map here. So what this is doing is it's checking if so what this command block is doing right here is it's giving this Wolfie over here a specific number, and it's going to work with that number until it's our code. So this wolf is actually important, no matter how annoying he can be at times. So this is checking if the wolf has at least 128, and then it's going to set a specific block of glass. In this case, I believe it is this one. So that's 111. So if it does have 128, at least 128 on its data score, then this block will be set to glass. And then over here it's going to subtract 128 if it did have 128. So now we have, if it's at least 64, then we're going to set this one to this one to glass, and then we're gonna remove 64 points if it did have 64 points. So it continues all the way down the line from 32 to 16 to 4, and then all the way to 2. This doesn't use 1 because that would be 0, 0, 0, and they already have that. So what we do is we check if the wolf has at least 2, and if it does, then it's going to set this block to glass. So that's why 255 worked, or 254. So either of those would have worked. So you look at this. So if we have 255, well, I have at least 128. So set that block to glass. So subtract 128, which would be 126. Then do we have at least 64? Yes, we do. Set that block to glass. And then we have 62 points. And then let's check if we have 32 points. Well, we do. We have 62. So we subtract that. We make this block glass. So we look at this. We have 30 right now. Do we have at least 16? Well, of course. So we set that block to glass. We remove 16 points. Now we have 14. So do we have at least 8 points? Yes. We do. Set that block to glass. Move on. We have 6. Do we have at least 4? Yes. Set that block to glass. We now have 2. Do we have 2? Yep. Set that block to glass. So I went through that rather quickly because it might have been rather boring. I apologize if it was. So now let's actually insert that rule now that we know what's going on. So now it's all glass. So no matter what combination it's given, unless it's completely sandstone, then it's gonna set it to a coal block. So that's why we get the filled triangle. So I hope this video helped if you want to do something like this. So I'll link to RedstoneJazz's channel and the video. And maybe I'll even do a video on how to tame puppies, because clearly, even though we think they're tame, they're not, because they keep barking and interrupting the flow of our videos, which I think is a disgrace to human society. Even if puppies are super cute and everything, this wolf is freaking annoying. Well, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and game on internet. See y'all next time.